Hello everybody, welcome back. This is JudiciousFire. I'm on the iOS server. I'm going to be continuing a series that I started with Paladin, where I'm reintroducing some of the heroes in Castle Clash. Some of the heroes that through the upgrading process, by the time they're fully maxed out, they have taken on an entirely different identity. Paladin, for example, was hitting into the millions in terms of damage. While the meantime, negating 95% of the damage that he takes. Well, I'd like to reintroduce us to an old friend, to Commodora. I think that it's just my perspective. I think that she was a Castle Clash hero that was never really understood in terms of her usage by the general Castle Clash community. I would often hear or read the question, is Commodora any good? Is she going to be able to be an effective hero? She dies quickly. Certainly, she's doing some base damage, but what is she all about? I always looked at Commodora as a base damager, but also a reflector. She does a deflect of damage. That's going to cut down the damage that she takes, reduce it, but also send it back at the enemy. I never had a good luck with keeping Commodora alive or keeping her in the battle for more than just a few seconds. Kind of like a little Nick in that way, or a Dread Drake, or a Minnow. You drop them out on the board, you're lucky to get a couple of skill activations before the person is turned to dust. I always had that experience with Commodora. I've made some changes recently, and it really has revitalized her abilities and given her a whole new life. I'd like to take her out on some raids and test her out in some different situations. Let's take a look at her build right now. Before we take a look at the build, let's look at the skill description. At skill 13, she's going to get a big attack boost. She will reflect. Okay, it's reflection. She'll send the damage back. Okay? She will reflect 65% of the damage that she's taking. Now, her cooldown and the skill activation are the same, so it's the entire time. Now, when attacked, she starts getting a big health healing increase. She starts recovering health, very much like Sasquatch. It's a repeated healing process. She also starts dropping these anchors that blow up the base and can kill off heroes very, very quickly. She does this all very rapid fire. Okay, so we have a couple of things going on. She gets an attack, she reflects damage, she deals area damage by dropping an anchor, and she heals herself. Now, I was always thinking, in terms of that reflect, I want to keep that reflect going. I want to make sure it's not hindered in any way. And I always went with the Vital Boon. It's going to give her a big health boost. It's going to remove buffs of the nearby enemy. I didn't want to interfere with that reflect. I didn't want to reduce the damage that's going back at the enemy by giving her any kind of damage reduction. I was always very careful with that. But the poor Commodora, she would always get killed. I've said it in multiple videos. I wasn't following my own advice when it came to Commodora. Pick out the one or two things that your hero does best and use the options that we have in this game to make that hero better at those one or two things. I was trying to bite off more than I could chew with Commodora. I was trying to save that reflection ability as best as I could at the cost of her own life. Her constantly getting killed in battle, it means that the reflect wouldn't matter anyway. She's dead. So what I have done is I have gone with a Sacred Light 9. And I have completely abandoned the desire to reflect using Commodora. I'm using her for one thing only, and that is base busting and hero smashing. That's the one thing that she does best that I've identified that I want to help with. The Sacred Light at 9 is going to give her the ability to reduce damage enough that her drop anchor is going to be repeatedly operating. She'll go the whole battle. until the base is either completely destroyed or nearly destroyed, now with the Sacred Light. So I've abandoned the reflect aspect, and I'm going just with the damage and the healing capability. That Sacred Light is going to give her 90% extra health, allowing her to actually absorb those heals, reducing her damage by 60. It's now my preferred talent on Commodore. I've been raiding throughout the entire day. If you're on the iOS server and it's it's Friday, I think the 28th, and I did a really sloppy base raid on you with using Commodore. I'm experimenting only. With the Sacred Light, then paired up with a 9 survival. Now, it negates damage to 9 survival. So, again, we're abandoning the reflect, and we're just trying to allow her to be under attack, to do base and hero damage, and to heal. She has to be attacked. So she needs to be front line, front and center, first row of your lost battlefield team, being under direct attacks by the enemy. That's how it's going to work in terms of her skill activation. So that's what I am focusing in on. That final part of that skill activation, the base busting and hero smashing, giving her a whole nother round of heals beyond what she's already generating. Now she heals herself. The Holy Conviction, more damage reduction, reducing the damage that's left over after the Sacred Light has been applied, and giving her a 100% healing bonus to herself. So she's healing at twice the capacity. All health. Giving her a big enough health pool to actually absorb all of these heals that she's taking. I started with little health pool. I did every talent and insignia that you could possibly do. Little health pool, a lot of healing. Well, she overhealed, and all that extra healing was wasted. A lot of health, little healing. She couldn't heal enough. I found this mid-range where I'm giving her a big health pool with the traits, damage reduction, double healing capability with the Holy Conviction, damage reduction, bigger health pool, second healing capability as well as the negation of damage, and 80,000 extra bonus health from that survival 9. Putting a healing pet like Fennec pet in there, also to block a negative status. Commodora is in true beast mode. She is somebody I would like to reintroduce. Let's go out and let's take her for a spin. Before I do, I just want to make a real quick note because I went through this process with so many different talents and insignias. The Vigorous Fury at 9 is going to give you a huge health boost. I found that the crit rate really wasn't making a big of a difference because when she drops her anchor, whatever's underneath that anchor just gets smashed to smithereens. So really extra damage wasn't helping her once she is at full, max ability, max upgrading. The stealth, we don't really do incremental damage in this game. Hero gets hit for 1,000,000, hero's dead. Okay, so the stealth is not something I would go with on Commodore. Again, a lot of damage damage. I went with survival and the Sacred Light over the Vital Boon because really she's very seldom, the way I use her now, she's very seldom close enough to the enemy to reach that nearby restriction as far as the debuffing is concerned. I don't need the extra. I've never liked Zealous Drive. I think it's just okay at two very different things. I would rather be really great at one thing and then maybe through an insignia be really great at the other. Then you'd have two really great things rather than two average. Unholy Pact, there is the theory that the more damage she takes, the more she's going to be doing back, and there is validity to that. But it becomes so much damage that she's taking that she's not able to make it through the whole battle. So I stayed away from that. I went survival related. The regen It was too much healing, but not a big enough health pool. The extra heals were wasted. Um, we don't want her dodging. Don't want anything like that. We want her under attack. She's. I don't need the attack. I'd rather have a bigger health boost. I even tried life drain, but she does a lot of walking around. She's a base buster. Often she blows up whatever is in front of her, and she's still continuing to walk. That whole time, life drain's not functioning. It's only functioning when she's doing her own personal attack. And I find that the life drain, with her attack speed and the way that she attacks, the life drain wasn't giving me enough healing. And you might as well have Sacred Light if you're going to go with a Stone Skin. You get the best of both worlds with Sacred Light. The Flame Guard, to my knowledge, her own Reflect at something like 65%, well, overlays, cancels out, subverts the Flame Guard, and it would it would serve no purpose because she is the entire time going to be reflecting. And I don't find any need for a Revitalize. The moment she's under attack, she's dropping those anchors. She's like an auto fire and like Gunslinger in that way, really. And a Revive would be a wonderful thing. I found Revive, Sacred Light, and lastly Survival to be the three that were really great. So let's check out Survival, Sacred Light, Commodora. And we're just going to go with raids, because raids, praise JJ, big shout out to JJ, one of the great players on the iOS server. Raids will present me and Commodora with a variety of circumstances, a variety of heroes. Just running the heroes in the same dungeon, I know they're going to be, insane 510. Okay, I know that. How are they going to do against the best heroes in Castle Clash, like a Breakthrough 30 Dovekeeper, for example? Now, we're going to see her get attacked by everybody and start dropping anchors. Let's see how it works. I'm going to go from the west. Got Fennec on there for that extra heal. Survival for another heal. Her own healing capability. Then her healing capability doubled through Holy Conviction. We're looking for anchor dropping base damage. What are we getting, friends? She's stacking on Dovekeepers. Walla Walla procs. Look at this. And she's out at 92% base damage from one hero. And these are Breakthrough 30 heroes we're taking on here, okay? Let's go. We got a Cosmo. We can check out how she is with Cosmo later. Another Cosmo. Another Cosmo. Another Cosmo. Okay, all BT30 heroes. Is there a Cosmo in here? We don't want a Cosmo. Okay, let's give this a try here. I'm going to go in from the east and just have her walk. See, this whole time Life Drain would not be functioning. Life Drain would have no effect. But because she's being attacked, she's dropping anchor. This is why the Sacred Light and the Survival is something that's always working. This whole time, she's not attacking. She's being attacked. She's all stunned up. She's just held there. Life Drain would be doing nothing. Look at this. She gets a heal in before she goes out. She just keeps healing and healing. The amount of damage that's being done on her and the heals that are happening, 150, 160. She just got hit for 650,000 and she didn't even register it because she's already healing it. I found this to be a perfect balance. The Sacred Light and the Survival, a big enough health pool to actually absorb the heals. And wow, she's still alive. And enough healing to actually fill the health pool. 89% on one, just with Commodore, just putting her on the board to be sacrificed. No strategy involved here. I'm not trying to strategize here. Let's try her inside of a Cosmo proc. Let's purposefully get her blasted by Cos. We're going to go to the west. Okay, now inside of the Cosmo proc, she will continue to drop anchor while being paralyzed inside of the Cosmoproc. Before I decided to just abandon the reflection, before I decided to do that, my Cosmo was not doing this, was not living long enough. My Cosmo run out on the board, do 53% of the base damage, be in it for 11 seconds, done. Now Cos is a one-woman army. So just want to reintroduce you to Cosmo, or no, Cos, I don't know why I say that because taking on the Cosmo. To reintroduce you to Commodora. She is an amazing hero now that we are able to have a level 9 talent and a level 9 insignia. That was the real light bulb going off for me, the real aha moment where I thought, okay, it's time to revisit this Commodora and see if I'm able to keep her going. And we just keep hitting and hitting and I think we can just continually stand here until eventually we hit those last few buildings. But we won't do that. We'll move on. Let's do one or two more attacks. I have a little bit of space to walk. Okay. We go on the west side. Now she's inside that Cosmo bubble. And look, she's still dropping anchor. So as long as she's continually under attack, this is why the health traits, this is why the survival, this is why the sacred light, this is why the healing capability and the big health pool. So she is allowed, capable of taking these kinds of attacks. Let's do one more. She is going to be susceptible to stun. That will be a difficulty. Let's just try it on 410, where there aren't a ton of stun towers. Just see how one hero from today does. West side. Starts taking damage. The moment she's attacked by the enemy, that's why you got to have her up front, or first one out there on the board, she's going to start dropping anchor. And just look at her health status. It's not moving. So a nice reintroduction to Commodora. The answer to the question, is Commodore any good? The answer is yes. But you've got to take her up to max level before she's able to withstand this kind of punishment. I'm not saying before you're able to be successful using her, but before she's able to withstand the kind of punishment that she's taking on these raids against Dove and Cosmo and the whole gang. She's very much like Mech Tessa and Creation, in the sense that they are amazing heroes, but you've got to have them high breakthrough, high everything before you can really start to see them shine. She is one of those. So, but once you got them up there, my gosh, there's no knocking her down. A wonderful build with Commodora. Thanks, Como. We will see you next time. And everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'll check you on the next video. All right, bye-bye.